You think you're healing because you've stopped yelling. You've started journaling, maybe even tried some breath work. But if you're still looping the same arguments, still attracting the same kind of woman, still burning out the same way every few months, then brother, you haven't healed. You've just learned how to manage your symptoms. And it's time we stop calling that healing. Most men think healing means fixing what's on the surface. Don't overthink, don't snap, pick better partners, be more present. And maybe they try a few tools, breath work, meditation, affirmations, but nothing really sticks. Why? Because they're treating the symptom instead of understanding the system. Here's the real structure underneath all of your patterns. Behaviour is the symptom, emotion is the fuel, and belief is the root. If you don't rewire the emotional program at the core, you'll keep living out the same story, just with new faces, new jobs, new partners. And that's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 most common emotional patterns I see in men, show you the beliefs and emotions driving them, and give you the real tools to break free, not band-aids. Let's get into it. So pattern 1 is constant arguing or always being criticized. Let's start with a big one here that I see in a lot of men, and I've lived it myself. You're always on the defensive. Arguments, they come out of nowhere, and you feel like you're constantly being criticized, misunderstood, or blamed. And your first instinct? Defend yourself. Prove your point, because that gives you a short burst of relief, a moment where you feel in control again. But under the surface, the real root belief is, I've done something wrong. And the emotion sitting underneath it? Guilt. That guilt, often from childhood, trains you to expect conflict, so you attract situations that let you fight back and feel better temporarily without ever facing what's buried underneath. So how do you start healing it? Go back to the part of you that first felt blamed, usually a younger version of yourself. Let him speak. He probably carried that guilt and shame that was never his. Learn to feel the guilt and shame physically. Breathe into your belly. Use sound, movement, or tapping to move it out. And when someone criticizes you, pause. Don't react. Ask yourself, is this about now, or is this my old guilt program activating? That pause is where the pattern starts to break. Pattern number 2 is attracting emotionally unavailable partners. You keep ending up with people who can't meet you. Unavailable, inconsistent, hot and cold. And part of you knows that it's not right, but there's another part that's hooked, obsessed. You mistake anxiety for attraction, chaos for chemistry. Here's what's really happening. The root belief here is, I have to earn love. And the emotion driving it? Abandonment. See, if love was unstable for you growing up, it came with conditions or silence or sudden withdrawal. Then inconsistency, it feels like home. So now, when someone offers you real safety, you pull away because your system only trusts love when it's unpredictable. So here's how you start healing that. Practice receiving safe love, even if it feels awkward or boring. That calm, steady presence, that's healing. Right to the part of you that chases. Let him know that he doesn't need to run anymore. He's worthy without proving anything. And choose different. If someone feels safe and consistent, stay. Even if your body tries to sabotage it. Calm love might feel unfamiliar, but it's exactly what your nervous system has been craving. Pattern 3, overworking and never feeling done. You hustle, you push, you never stop moving, and when you try to rest, you feel guilty, like you're wasting time. You tell yourself it's ambition, but deep down, you're exhausted. Here's the truth. The root belief is that if I stop, I'm useless. And the emotions underneath, guilt and fear. Somewhere along the line, productivity became survival. Maybe praise was only given when you were achieving. Maybe rest was called lazy. Now your nervous system believes that slowing down isn't safe. It's dangerous. So you keep chasing that next task, that next project, that next dopamine hit, not from passion, but to outrun the fear of feeling unworthy. So how do you start healing it? Schedule conscious rest. Not scrolling or numbing, but stillness. Sit in the discomfort and feel what comes up for yourself. Then ask, who am I if I'm not achieving right now? Let whatever grief or panic surfaces come through and remind yourself daily, your worth isn't tied to your output. You are not a machine. You are a man, and rest is part of your power. Burnout is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you've been trying to earn your existence. Pattern number 4 is people pleasing and being the nice guy. You avoid conflict. You say yes when you mean no. You shapeshift to be who everyone else needs, but inside you're resentful, disconnected, and drained. Here's the root of it. The belief is if I upset people, I'll be abandoned. And the emotion underneath that is fear. Because somewhere along the line, you were taught to not rock the boat. You were taught, don't make people uncomfortable. Don't speak your truth, or you'll be rejected, shamed, or left. So you built your identity around being nice, agreeable, needed. But here's the thing. You can't be respected if you won't be real. So here's how to start healing that. Say no in small ways, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. Build that boundary muscle. Let the fear rise. Don't run from it, but sit with it. Let your nervous system realize you won't die for disappointing someone. And speak your truth, even if it's hard. Validate your anger. Give it space. That is where your power lives. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You need to be you. Pattern 5 is explosive anger or overreacting. You lose it over the small stuff. Traffic, a text, a look. And afterward, you feel ashamed, like you weren't even in control. Here's what's actually going on here. The belief is that I'm not safe. I'm not in control. And the emotion underneath that is powerlessness. So if you grew up in an unpredictable environment where you weren't protected or were constantly on guard, then that rage became your armor. It's how your body says, don't fuck with me. Because deep down, you still feel like that unprotected kid. But here's the truth. Anger, that's not the problem. It's unprocessed powerlessness sitting underneath it. So here's how you start healing it. Do a rage release. Scream into a pillow. Hit a heavy bag. Shake it out. Let the energy move without hurting yourself or others. Get into your body. Cold water, heavy lifting, breath work, anything that grounds you and expands your capacity to feel. Talk to your inner protector. Let him know he's not alone anymore. He's safe now. You've got him. See, this work, it's not about suppressing your fire. It's about learning to carry it with strength. And pattern 6, feeling stuck and unable to make decisions. You overthink everything. You get stuck in analysis paralysis. You delay, distract, freeze, and call it being careful. But really, you're just afraid of getting it wrong. The deeper pattern here is the belief of if I choose wrong, I'll lose love or safety. And the emotion that sits underneath that is the fear of failure, rejection, and punishment. This often starts early in our lives when mistakes were met with judgment, anger, or shame. Now, every single decision that we have to make, it feels like a potential landmine. So your system plays it safe, not by choosing wisely, but by not choosing at all. So here's how you start healing it. Make fast, low-stakes decisions daily. Show your nervous system that it's safe to move. Let go of this illusion of this perfect choice. Forward is better than frozen. And ask your fear, what are you trying to protect me from? And then actually listen. Because underneath the freeze is a part of you trying to stay safe. Indecision isn't laziness, it's protection. But you don't need to live in survival mode anymore. So here's the truth, brother. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not a failure. You're patterned. And every one of those patterns, the overthinking, the shutdowns, the people pleasing, the rage, the burnout, is rooted in a belief and an emotion that made sense at the time. It kept you safe, but it is not who you are. And it's not who you have to keep being. When you start feeling your emotions instead of running, when you start leading yourself instead of avoiding, that's when everything starts to shift. So let this one sit with you. We're just getting started. I'll see you tomorrow.